us. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alfa Romeo Giulia and Alfa Romeo Stelvio and First, we have Rosso, to provide visceral experiences for the senses. We have Italia, to celebrate and be enriched by our heritage. And our third pillar is Sportivita, which serves as our attitude for tech and immersive mobility. These, ladies and gentlemen, are our values and our 3 guiding pillars. And so on that note, allow me this moment to walk you down memory lane so that we can get reacquainted with Alfa Romeo's 115 years of racing DNA, where the Giulia and the Stelvio have both inherited their magic. Now, our story began in 1910. And for those of you who may not know, the letters ALFA stands for Anonima Lombarda Fabbrica Automobili. And in 1918, just about 8 years later, Nicola Romeo took over the brand, and thus the name Alfa Romeo was born. And in 1923 marked the year of the quadrifoglio. The symbol was first painted on an Alfa Romeo race car for good luck, and that same car also won the Targa Florio. And the 4-leaf clover symbol continues to represent Alfa Romeo's most performance-oriented models today. In 1931 to 1938, this, ladies and gentlemen, was our golden era. Alfa Romeo saw incredible motorsport success with 4 straight wins at Le Mans and 6 straight wins at Emilia. This success continued in 1950 and 1951 as Alfa Romeo dominated the first 2 Formula One seasons. And we can look back at the 1960s as our very own Malaysian chapter for Alfa Romeo, headlined here by Alfa Romeo Malaysia's team Grand Slam win of the Singapore Selangor Perak and Malaysian GPs. 1969 was just as historic. The Malaysian assembled Berlina becomes the very first Alfa Romeo to be assembled outside of Italy in Asia. And for some of us in the room, who can ever forget the iconic 1970s, where the Royal Malaysian Police used Alfa Romeo as their official police vehicles. The 1990s and 2000s brought even more iconic moments. The 155B6T ITTM won the DTM Racing Series in 1993. And stunning models such as the 155, 159, and 147 became beloved models amongst Malaysians. Now, this modern era has brought us even more beautiful moments, including Alfa Romeo's return to Formula One in 2018 with a certain Charles Leclerc behind the wheel. And of course, not forgetting, in the second image we see here, the breathtakingly beautiful 33 Stradale unveiling in 2024, which showcased the captivating future of Alfa Romeo. Which now brings us to 2025, where we have these 2 gorgeous Alfa Romeo automobiles standing before you. Now, ever since their global introduction, both models have continued to win hearts and awards around the world. Just this year, Alfa Romeo itself received a Best Appearance and Styling recognition. Congratulations. While the Giulia and Stelvio were also garnered Best Car accolades in award initiatives in Germany and in Switzerland. Now, this certainly does mean that both models are making their highly anticipated arrivals here on a very high note. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's now take a closer look at both of these vehicles. Firstly, let's start off with the Alfa Romeo Giulia Veloce. It is beautiful, seductive, and unmistakably Italian. As we see in the next slide, we can see some of the specs here. It features 280 horsepower, 400 Newton meter, 2-liter turbocharged engine, and a Q2 rear-wheel drive system. The Giulia translates raw emotion into motion. It also features an 8-speed automatic transmission, Alpha DNA drive mode selector, and the Alpha Link suspension system, which offers exceptional levels of comfort and precision. The Giulia Veloce has a quartet of distinctive 19-inch rims, a highly driver-centric layout with a lovely tactile sport leather interior, and sound by Harman Kardon. Now this cabin is also a sanctuary, which you can have a closer look later. We have a piece of Italian craftsmanship that is highly intuitive and immersive with a crisp digital instruments and displays. Now ladies and gentlemen, these qualities are shared by both the Giulia and the very sophisticated Stelvio. So let's have a quick look at the Stelvio. This agile SUV presents the very same performance potential as the Giulia, but adds Alfa Romeo's Q4 all-wheel drive system into the mix. And the similarities for both the models continue throughout Stelvio's stunning proportions, but here it flies a 20-inch rims instead of the 19-inch on the Giulia. Now perhaps I won't go into too much detail just yet about each of these models, but by all means, to our media friends later on this evening, you may take that time to come closer and appreciate them further. Now, one thing that is in common that both these models share, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a curated list of Alfa Romeo ownership privileges. So let's find out what these are. We have La Bella Vita, an initiative for new owners to look forward to. It brings with it plans for unique lifestyle events and experiences in Malaysia and beyond. And this could even include curated experiences at the Museo Alfa Romeo. La Bella Vita will also bring with it grand tours and destination drives plotted through the most engaging routes to beautiful locations. Then we have speed dating. Essentially, this is Alfa Romeo Malaysia's version of track days, where the goal isn't simply to track the best times, but rather chasing the feeling of love for driving on the limit. We also have the Alfa Concierge, a more personalized approach to assistance and services extended to new Alfa Romeo owners. And here on the screens, ladies and gentlemen, this is a glimpse at Casa Alfa Romeo, the home of Alfa Romeo Malaysia, and it will be unveiled in December, and it is located in Rhapsody Square, TREC, Kuala Lumpur. And next up, we have the Familia Alfa Romeo for all Alfa Romeo owners nationwide. We will be extending an official adoption program for Alfisti cars. The program will include the support of certified technicians, genuine parts and accessories, and reliable roadside assistance. This celebrates the very passionate owner communities that have continued to fly the Alfa Romeo flag high for many decades now. Now, in fact, the Owners Club itself will be celebrating their 33rd anniversary next year, and I do believe that some of the members are here with us tonight, so a very warm welcome to you as well. Now let's have a quick look into the glimpse of a future here. While we establish Alfa Romeo's return in Kuala Lumpur, our sights are set on expansion in Penang and Johor Bahru for the near future. And of course, the future is looking absolutely beautiful with new models like the Giulia and the Tonale on the horizon, and of course there are many more coming through. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to now conclude with words that are not mine, but they do sum up the love of Alfa Romeo. A certain Enzo Ferrari once shared, "I still have for Alfa the tenderness of a first love, the pure affection of a child for its mother." And a very fact worth noting is how Ferrari was actually born from the Alfa Romeo race team. Enzo Ferrari established the racing team Scuderia Ferrari in 1929, which initially raced Alfa Romeo cars and served as the factory team's racing division. And finally, no stranger to us all, ladies and gentlemen, the very enigmatic British journalist, he once proclaimed that you can't call yourself a true car enthusiast until you've owned an Alfa Romeo. And on that note, we'd like to thank you so very much for breathing life into this new chapter. To all of